As the administrative offices of Success Tutoring Online are located in Burbank, California, I'd like to interview some of the local principals, administrators, and teachers from the local schools so that parents can get an idea of what is going on, what the happenings are, and to get a general feel for the people in charge of their child's education. Today, as a guest, I have the principal of Burbank High, one of the main high schools. If you have a son or daughter that will be attending Burbank High this school year, or that will soon be attending Burbank High, I think you're going to want to watch today's show. So let's get on with it. Welcome to the latest episode of Learning with Success, the show for parents of school-aged children, sponsored by Success Tutoring Online, helping students with academic progress for over 20 years. And I'm your host, Armando Salcido. Today we have the principal of Burbank High, Julie Markussen. Julie has a bachelor's degree in English, a master's degree in educational leadership. She has taught English at the middle and high school levels for about 15 years and has also held the positions as an assistant principal at Culver City Middle School and the principal for Santa Monica High School before accepting the position of principal at Burbank High. Okay, welcome, Julie. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. I hope you are too.
Yes, actually I am. Very good. And again, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I believe that this coming year will be your second year as the principal of Burbank High. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, second year. I'm really excited.
All right, very good. Well, okay, now let me ask you this here. Having lived and worked on the west side for so long, what is it like now living and working in Burbank on the east side of the valley?
Well, my family and I love living here. We've been here for about a year now, and we've just had a really good time getting to know this community. And it's such a cool, small town feel within the larger city. And people are so friendly and warm and welcoming. So we've had a wonderful time. We're really happy here, even though it's a little bit hotter over here than it is on that side.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Especially these last few weeks here.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Now, as I'm sure you're well aware, there have been a number of changes going on within the district, from the school board placing the superintendent, Matt Hill, on administrative leave to changes and moves of principals and teachers within the district. While each situation has its own story and background, and not being a member of the board or a key administrator, the general public may not actually know all of the details of each situation, but I'm sure that everybody now is pretty much ready to see stability, prediction, and growth within the district. So do you think that things are starting to settle down out here within the district?
Absolutely. I couldn't be more excited to have our acting superintendent, Dr. John Paramo, at the helm. He has been a part of the Burbank Unified School System for many years. He's passionate about education and supporting all students. And I have to say, he's been a wonderful mentor to me in my first year as principal at Burbank High. So I've loved working with him. I know he's very well respected in the district among staff and parents and students. So I think we're in good hands, and I'm really excited to see what his vision is for the year.
All right, very good. Now, I believe you also mentioned that there have been some personnel changes within your school. Are there any that you'd like to talk about or highlight?
Sure. Yes, it's kind of normal in education that people come and go. Of course, we love it when they're with us forever, but we do have 3 new administrators joining us this year. We have an administrative team of 5, including myself. So I'm very excited that Miss Narne Barzagar is returning as the assistant principal of instruction and curriculum. She brings a wealth of institutional knowledge and district knowledge, so we're very lucky to have her again next year. We also have a new assistant principal of student services, and her name is Jennifer Freeman. And she has been an educator for a long time. She was a social studies teacher, and this is kind of her first foray into the administrative world. But she's already shown us so much promise, and she's off to a great start. So she'll be in charge of things like discipline and attendance. Then we also have Mr. John Wells, who's going to be our assistant principal of athletics and activities. Now, John has been working at Burbank High for a long time as a PE teacher and the ASB, or Associated Student Body Advisor. And he's been a coach in the past as well. So it's kind of just a natural transition for him because he has a lot of experience working with athletics and, planning events and working with the facilities. So a lot of institutional knowledge that he can share with us too.
All right,
and then
very good. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're excited. And finally, Miss Robin Hatch, who was our AP of Guidance and Special Education, has actually been promoted to the principal of Dolores Huerta Middle School. So we're super excited for her. It's a loss for us, but she's going to do such a great job. And we actually have offered, and someone has accepted the position for AP of Guidance and Special Ed, but that person's still going through the hiring process, so we can't announce the name yet. But it's somebody that also comes to us with a wealth of knowledge and experience. So I think we're going to have a really energetic and experienced team this year.
All right, very good. Well, let me ask you this. Now that you're heading into your second year as the principal of Burbank High, what are some of the things that excite you about this coming school year?
Well, the first year as a principal, you kind of take your time to get to know the lay of the land. You build relationships with, students and staff and parents. So that's really what I focused on my first year, is just getting to know the school and the community. And that's really helped me build trust with the staff and the parents and students. So I'm excited that this year we're going to be doing a lot of equity and inclusion work, making sure that all of our students feel safe and comfortable at Burbank High School, and working on some new safety initiatives on campus, as well as our WASC accreditation. So we will be accredited next year during the 24-25 school year, but we spend this year getting ready for that accreditation.
So it's basically being re-accredited, though.
That's correct. Yes. Every 4 years.
Okay. All right. Very good. So, okay. Well, now you may have answered this already, but are there any new plans or programs that will be introduced into the school this year that parents or students should know about?
We actually have a couple of new things going on at school. We have introduced a film and media literacy class that will be a fine art elective. So, for students who may not want to get into drawing or sculpture, or, maybe drama's not their thing, or vocal music instruments, it's more of an academic fine art where they will watch films and write about films. They'll learn about different genres and watch a variety of movies that are kind of landmark in the motion picture industry. So I know a lot of kids are excited about that. We also have a new level 4 American Sign Language class. So up until last year, we had levels 1, 2, and 3, but we're adding level 4 this year, which is exciting for our students. And we have some new partnerships with music and animation. For example, I know animation is going to be working a lot with DreamWorks and Dolby and the Animation Guild, which I know they already work a lot with Disney and Nickelodeon and other, studios in the area, but we've built some new partnerships. Ms. Janelle Pickett, who's in charge of the animation program, has worked really hard to make that special for the kids. And another cool thing is all schools are getting Prop 28 money, which is for visual and performing arts. And we're going to be getting about $330,000 this year. It's a grant cycle that lasts for, you get 3 years to spend it, but it's renewed every year. So we're going to have some money to, boost our programs and get some more coaches for our different arts programs. So we're super excited about being able to, offer more to our students.
Wow, very good. Well, okay. I know that Burbank High has a lot of programs for students to explore themselves, find their own talents, things like that. Um, but I'd like to take a look at really what I think usually most people think of as the main focus of school, which is the academics.
Mhm.
So, how does Burbank High stand academically in comparison with other schools?
I'll tell you the truth. We don't always compare ourselves to the other schools in the area because we look at the data from our own school and we try to compare, each year. And obviously our goal is to improve on a yearly basis. So I will tell you right now that we have a variety of advanced placement or AP classes as well as honors courses. And one thing I love about our school is those courses are open access, meaning there are no prerequisites to join those classes. If you are a student and you want to be in an honors or AP class and you're willing to take on the challenge, then you are welcome to join that class. So there's no gatekeeping or, teacher recommendations or test scores that you have to have as prerequisites, which I think is a pretty cool way to be equitable to all students. We also, in one of our AP classes, students do great on our AP tests across the board, but I just found out that our AP psychology class had over an 80% pass rate. So there were about 150 students from Burbank High who took that test, and we also outscored the global and the California pass rates for that test. So that was pretty impressive, and we were really excited about that. And our debate team, you may have heard that they did really well at the national championship. And in fact, this is the second year in a row that Burbank High has had a national champion. So
Oh, wow.
that's a pretty cool feat to have. So we're really excited about that. And, in looking at our initial CASP, our state testing data, we've made some gains in English and math as well. So the academics are strong, and I foresee them only getting stronger from here on out.
Well, very good. Well, that actually leads into my next question. Math is a subject that a lot of students really have a difficult time with. Now, at Success Tutoring Online, what we do is we always work with students to make sure that not only does a student do well and get a good grade and pass the class and all that, but our emphasis is that the student understand the math and be able to and is able to apply it. So that's our emphasis. Now, so are there any programs there at Burbank High to help students with math, especially those that are struggling with math?
Mm-hmm. Well, I know what you mean. Math was never my favorite subject in school, but it takes a lot of hard work and support as well. And right now, one thing that's great about our math program is our teachers use a lot of hands-on and practical math to help kids understand how math actually applies to real life and makes it easier for them to process. They also get more opportunities now to show mastery, and sometimes kids would, get your homework and tests and that was it. But now our teachers, many of them give several opportunities for kids to show mastery in math, which helps them, repeat the process and learn and think about the steps and what they're doing rather than just memorizing steps to a problem.
Now, how is that mastery? What do you mean by that?
That means that some teachers will offer multiple chances to retake an exam. And what they want to see is that the student is looking at their mistakes, understands why those mistakes were made, and then can learn from that and learn to solve and explain how they solved. The explanation process is really important because
Right.
I don't know about you, but when I was in school, we were just taught to kind of memorize how to do it and didn't really understand the why behind it. But now the teachers are really teaching the why, and they want kids to be able even to write about how they solve a problem.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the math and writing hand in hand, it really can show mastery in a different way than many people traditionally think of math.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's actually very important. Really, it really is. The application is key.
Yes, it is. And
Yeah.
I love going into a classroom, saw a teacher teaching kids about the mathematics behind which line do you get in the supermarket. If you see, one person with a huge cart full, is it better to get behind that person, or is it better to get behind, 5 or 6 people that have smaller carts? And so the teacher actually went through it and showed them exactly the steps that you would take and the math that supports that you should get behind the one person instead of the 5. So little things like that you wouldn't think of, but they really stick with the kids.
Yeah.
And, we do also offer peer tutoring. And we have free tutoring in the library after school, and our teachers do make themselves available before and after school and at nutrition and lunch to help any students who may need that extra push.
Well, very good. Now, as that's with math. It's my understanding, and what I have seen is that usually with math and science, usually if a student doesn't understand something, it's pretty obvious to them that they don't get it.
Right.
However, with English, a lot of students, I think that they're fine with English, that they're doing great, there's no problem. And this is even students that don't like to read at all and that have a difficult time writing a decent essay. So even though those are very, very key skills that a person needs to be successful in life, so are there any programs in place specifically to help to develop a love of reading, to develop writing skills? And now you mentioned also debate, so public speaking. So to basically help a student to get into public speaking, do you have programs like that?
Sure. So, speaking, reading, writing, and listening are part of the California state standards. So they're integrated into every English class that we have. So students will get the opportunity to speak in class. I know one tactic that our teachers use is Socratic seminar, where students have the opportunity to, talk about and discuss a text, and they use evidence from the text to back up their opinions. And, that really helps them share and get to kind of love the reading on a different level and makes them more comfortable speaking with their peers. They also get to do presentations. They do a lot of peer editing and workshopping with writing in class. And, a lot of our kids too, I've noticed they have book clubs on campus, and a lot of them will go to the library and meet and talk about books. I think giving kids choice in what they're reading and what they're writing about often helps them have more interest in reading and writing. So, we in the English department, we've revamped some of the reading list. We're trying to add more contemporary and some more, kind of up-to-date topics that our students are interested in. I know, for example, this year we were looking to add a few books about the Armenian genocide because we have a large population of Armenian students. And, not to mention that we have a lot of English learners at our school as well. So we try to take those extra steps to find reading that's appealing, that will make it more interesting for the students.
All right, very good. Well, we've covered academics and mainly with regard to math and English, but there are, just as you mentioned, so many different ways for students to gain knowledge and to develop themselves as individuals. And I think that's where a lot of your other programs come into play, like choir, drama, dance, music, and things like that. So can you tell us a bit more about some of those programs that you have in place for students and that students can use to kind of develop themselves and their specific talents?
Sure. You mentioned kind of the big ones, with the drama and choir, band, and dance. And those programs are very strong at Burbank High, and they're growing. We are seeing more competitive teams coming up from all of those areas, especially with dance and with our choir and band. And they've been taking part in camps all summer to get prepped for the year to come. And we also have a very strong stagecraft program. It's been a very big draw at Burbank High School because we have such a strong program, and kids are exposed to industry level instruction in light and sound and set design. And it's really fun to watch them actually support our student productions. So it's truly student-led when you hear about a Burbank High production. And we also have, other programs that I'm sure we'll talk about, such as animation and digital media. We have a yearbook program class, and as well as a newspaper class. So those are all ways that kids can get creative. Even if they don't want to be like in the spotlight or on the stage, they can work behind the scenes as well.
All right. Well, you made mention of some of these others. I was thinking about, so you have the arts and the performing arts, but you also have, as you mentioned, I think you have robotics, you have computer graphics and animation. So what are some of these other programs that are available to students?
Sure. So we have some classes that they're called CTE, Career Technical Education.
Mhm.
And we also have something called the NAF Academy. And both of those offer many different ways for students to kind of try on different hats, see if there's a kind of a career area of interest. And often our students will be dual enrolled, which means that they can get credit at a community college. We work with Glendale Community College and LA Valley College. And both of those, we've sat down with their instructors and we've talked about what our kids have told us that they want to learn. And then we plan classes for them to get kind of a taste of a different type of career. So students can get college credit on the Burbank High campus by taking a class at Burbank High. So some of the ones that we have offered to kids, again, we have, animation, digital media, we have engineering, we have a medical pathway, culinary arts, business, and stagecraft, which I spoke of before. And some of these programs are also able to earn, once they've completed a certain level, the opportunity to earn a certificate in those classes. So I know there's a culinary arts certificate, and this year we're actually going to be offering a real estate course. And when kids complete the real estate classes, then they will get a certificate of achievement showing that they've completed those classes on their career path. So some of these classes do require auditions or prerequisites if they're a higher level class, but generally these are open to all students at Burbank High, and they've been very popular because they meet a lot of the interests that our students have.
All right, very good. Now you mentioned the NAF, the NAF Academy, and you also mentioned the CTE programs. So what is the difference between the two?
Well, CTE is just career technical education. NAF is actually an academy on campus. So it stands for National Academy Foundation. And a lot of our academies, like we have business, engineering, and medical, they have received a distinguished award level. So our students will take a pathway of classes, and they also, with NAF, not with CTE. Now, CTE, they may still get internships and community service, but with NAF, students are required to do some community service. They do job shadowing in the field that they're interested in, internships, and they get different types of work experience, and they can even earn special awards during like the graduation years, and they can earn a special sash or cord at graduation as well. So the NAF Academy is sort of like a smaller school within the larger school, while the CTE are just career and themed classes.
So what would be covered under the CTE? Like what kinds of things would be that? What would be covered under there?
CTE, you can earn the dual enrollment credit with the community colleges.
Okay.
And you choose a career pathway where you would take classes in things such as animation, digital media, and stagecraft, as well as culinary arts and engineering and business, just to name some. Okay. So those, they are career classes, some in which you can enroll in dual credit for the community colleges and Burbank High. And those classes also build upon each other. So you may take like animation 1 the first year, then animation 2. Whereas the NAF is an academy that students apply to, and they agree to a certain set of kind of fundamental elements that the NAF Academy wants students to complete. In order to stay in the NAF Academy, you have to pass your classes in the academy. And they have a nearly 100% graduation rate from high school. We have a high graduation rate anyway, but the NAF Academy is, I think when kids have something they belong to, it really inspires them to do their best. So we have classes there in business, engineering, medical, and some of those requirements that they would complete are like the internships, the work experience, the job shadowing, and the community service. So those are part of the program. Whereas with CTE, you may get some of those things, but when you join, you're not necessarily locked in like the NAF program.
Interesting. Okay. Well, two different programs, but they both sound pretty good.
They are. They're wonderful.
Yeah. So, okay. So now we've talked about a number of different programs that you have, as well as the academics. And you made mention of a book club, but I think you have a lot of other clubs that students that are available for students.
Absolutely. The last I checked, I think we had well over 100 clubs on campus.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
It's amazing. We have a club day where all the clubs will set up tables in our quad area. We've set up every club that wants to can set up a table in the quad area during lunch, and kids can come by and they can check out the clubs. They can sign up for them. They can hear more about them. So, especially our newer students, our ninth graders, or students who are new to Burbank High can then go around and see what there is to offer. And our clubs are so diverse. They're student driven. So they change from year to year based on what the students are interested in. And if there isn't a club already that exists, you can create one. And you just have to find a sponsor and create your bylaws for your club. So some of the ones that we had last year, we had some cultural clubs like the Armenian Club. We had an Asian Culture Club, the Black Student Union. We also have clubs like creative writing. We have an environmental club, a club that does coding, one that plays chess, one that just gets together and plays board games, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We have a French club, Key Club, a neurodiversity club, and one of my favorites, the Pokemon Club. So, and again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many clubs, but like I said, if there isn't one that appeals to you as a student, you can create one.
Wow. Okay. Very good. So no, what is this? No scarcity of things to do.
That's right. You always have something to choose from. There's
Right.
a lot
That's
going
good.
on in Burbank.
That's good. Now, you also said that Burbank High has a very, very active college career center. So
Yes.
tell me about that.
Sure. We're really lucky to have Miss Shannon Mirando as our college and career counselor. We share her with John Burroughs High School. And we have Miss Diana Dicey, who is our CTE coordinator. And together they run the College Career Center. And it's really kind of like your one-stop shop for all things college and career. They arrange college visits. So a lot of times colleges will come onto campus, and if students want to hear those representatives or visit with them, they sign up in the College Career Center. They also do many workshops about how to apply for college, workshops on the college essay, workshops on how to fill out the FAFSA, the free and reduced. I'm sorry, I just told you that wrong.
The federal aid,
something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I understand. I know.
Yeah. So the FAFSA workshops, they post scholarships and financial aid opportunities. They even have job postings. So students who are looking for maybe a part-time job during the year or during the summer can go in and see what's available. And the military even will drop off information and come and visit for students who might be interested in that as well. So we try to hit a variety of areas that our students may want to pursue later in life.
All right. Now, you also mentioned in one of our talks here that this particular coming school year is a very, very special year for Burbank High. So do you want to get into why it's such a special school year and what's being done to celebrate it?
Yes, it is our 115th anniversary at Burbank High, which
115 years.
115 years. And
Wow.
we are excited on September 1st. We are going to have a big celebration on campus. We are going to have, this is kind of incredible because most of our games are played now over at Memorial Stadium, which happens to be by the Burroughs campus. But we're actually going to play a home football game at Burbank High School, which we
Huh.
haven't done in quite a while.
Yeah.
And so we will have that. We'll have honored and distinguished alumni present. We're going to have past classes and presidents of the classes have tables set up to, reunite with their classmates. There's going to be a car show. There'll be tours of the campus, and they can see our new display case full of Burbank High memorabilia that Mr. Ernie McGinnis has set up. So a lot of cool stuff going on for the 115th, and we're just excited to celebrate and have fun.
Very good. Now, when is this going to be?
It'll be September 1st.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you'll be able to check the Burbank High website. I know there's also an Instagram. If you look up, Burbank High 115th, there's a lot of information, and they'll be on our website as well.
All right. Very good. Very good. Well, I'll tell you, we've actually covered quite a bit of ground here. So now, is there anything else that you would like to say to the parents and students of the local area?
Sure. I think I just want to let everyone know that Burbank High is such a friendly and welcoming place that is, has something to appeal to all students from different backgrounds and who have unique interests. And the staff is very passionate and here to help our students kind of find their place at Burbank High. So I welcome anyone in the community who's interested to learn more about our school, see if you want to come for a visit. We often, like I said, for the 1st of September, we're doing tours. So we've got a website that it's under construction, but we're boosting it up for this year so we can show off all the great things that are happening at our school.
All right. Very good. Well, I think this has been great. You've been able to share a lot of information about Burbank High and what families could expect when students join or enroll at Burbank High. And so I want to thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule. I know you've got a lot going on. And just again, want to say thank you very much for joining us here today.
Oh, thank you. It was my pleasure. I always love talking about and bragging about Burbank High.
All right, very good. All right, very good. And we will see you later.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Bye. Well, I want to thank all of our listeners and all of those watching on YouTube that are joining us today. I hope that you have found today's show to be valuable and informative. If you liked today's show and you haven't already, please subscribe so as not to miss any of our upcoming interviews. For now, this is Armando Salcido signing off, and I hope to see you again next week. As mentioned at the beginning of the show, Learning with Success is sponsored by Success Tutoring Online. Our administrative offices are located in Burbank, California, but we provide tutoring or academic advancement to students throughout the United States.